You know, these things, like, how are you supposed to close them? There we
That's
go.
any packaging that makes it impossible to close it back is being pretty arrogant. They assume you're going to eat them all in one sitting.
Yeah. F you. I do one at a time.
This episode is brought to you by
Tim Tam.
Tim Tam.
Tim Tam.
I don't know, coffee flavored cookies.
Is it brought to you by Tim Tam?
Is that your voice of the week?
I can do a good Australian if I like.
The coffee cookie hunter accent.
Coffee cookie hunter.
Hunter.
We found the elusive Tim Tam. Yummy.
So these are cookies from Australia?
They're from Australia. Yay.
This is a great It's a great way to start the show. Welcome to
You're gonna edit it out.
I don't know, my
Coffee and biscuits.
my decision to not really do any editing on these Friday episodes, the Friday episodes we've done so far, I have not cut anything out. I've literally just faded the music in at the beginning and faded the music out at the end. So this Friday episode.
You do the talking.
Welcome to Filmmaker Fridays. Brad's mouth is full. If you're listening to this, if you're listening to this at all, our film, Really Pathetic and Totally Awkward, is finally out on YouTube. As if we were just talking about this, as if we haven't completely exhausted every possible topic on this particular film. There are one claim to fame is that we've finally finished a feature film at some point within the last few years.
Yeah.
But it's on our website, smuentertainment.com. We're going to go ahead and put it on the front page like we did with our last film, Manifest. So that pretty much when you get there, if you go to smuentertainment.com, the only thing you'll see for a few days will be maybe the donate button. Donate button's a nice little thing. Got it?
Don't look at me. That?
Yes, we fucking
We
do.
do?
You act like I'm incapable of doing these things, but I gave us a donate button. You can drop us a tip in the tip jar, as the podcaster likes to say. What are you fucking laughing at? I mean, no one's used it, but it's there.
Yeah. I mean, every YouTube video I watch, thank you, do our Patreon. You know, do our Patreon. Here's our Patreon. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
First of all, I can't believe, I'm watching the video, but I can't believe, why is anybody giving this guy money?
Well, that's what, if we had a Patreon, people would watch this video and think, I'm going to pay a Patreon to watch them eat fucking cookies. Why would I pay for that? when they're already giving it away for free on the internet. Why would I pay for that?
For 5 cents a day, you can help this poor little Ewok make movies. And then make shows talking about how...
Honestly, what we do is we make the movie and then, I don't know, at some point later we talk about how disappointed we are in the movie.
our movies are less and less disappointing. I think our most recent...
Our most recent efforts, our most recent efforts are, we're increasingly feel better about them. However, I think that in the last episode, or in a previous episode, we shit on our film, Really Pathetic and Totally Awkward, too much. So, I was thinking, the animals, it's like...
The cat.
It's like Grand Central Station between you and your coffee cup. They're going to knock it over at some point.
They're feeding off the energy, they're talking and they're doing stuff, and because normally we just avoid each other. We don't even know we exist.
Yeah.
And then we do a show, and the animals are like, "Holy shit! It's an event."
We're getting the group back together. Emma's like, I'm gonna go in there and lick my ass.
The cat's like, I'm gonna jump and crawl on everything possible.
So I think what we should do is go through, then spend a few minutes talking about the stuff that we learned from our movie and the stuff that we are happy about with our movie.
Oh, that would be. I don't. You know what? We were talking before, and I was like, haven't we talked about like what can we talk about that we haven't talked about already
and we
about
haven't.
the movie? And I don't think we've ever talked about what we like about the movie.
Well, let me start. Okay, you ready?
You need to start with the good stuff.
I like that we finished it.
I like that I don't ever have to touch it ever again.
That's not true because every time we open it, we're like, yeah, that maybe we should,
I learned a hell of a lot.
Yeah, we did.
I learned most of what I know about color correction, color grading, and all that stuff working on that movie.
Some of our film, so there's the stuff that you learn when you're in production. We can talk generically and using our film as an example. So some of the things you learn in production are very often like what not to do. Right, okay?
Yeah, that's the point, I think.
I remember telling somebody we were going to shoot our movie Really Pathetic and Total Awkward. And at the time, I thought, well, it was going to be possible to sustain the effort, the quality control effort, for like 6 days, 6 or 7 days. And the plan was to shoot the original plan when we wrote the script and when we sat down to plan it out. We were going to shoot that thing in 6 days. I remember people telling me we were crazy. You're not going to get a movie made in 6 days. And yeah. I was like, oh, okay, but I'm going to go try anyway. And then it became 7 days. And I remember thinking, yeah, but 7 days, that's still unbelievable.
Because we had reshoots.
No.
Well, we did.
Right, well, we did, but when we finally shot the movie 3 years later, or 2 years later, it was 8 days. We were going to make it in 8 days.
Oh, okay.
And then we had a reshoot day, which took up a 9th day.
Oh, okay.
But by then, we had added like 15 more pages to the script because we needed more scenes of them talking.
As if there weren't enough.
So here's what I think I learned. So again, we're proud of the movie. We love the movie because it's finally moved out of the house.
Well, and like we did it, it was we did a feature film and we did the impossible.
Yeah. We got a group of people together for 9 days, not even 9 days in a row because we shot for 3 or 4 days. We took like a week off and then shot 3 or 4 more days, and then we shot one day like 2 months later. Or one night, really, 2 months later, and got 2 of our final scenes left. What I think we got is.
Hand me the mouse if you would. Thank you.
What I think we got is we definitely overwrote our script. There was too much talking, and I know that was a lot of me because you were giving me a lot of deference on the script. Because I think when you and I sat down to write it, it was already a first draft of the script. When you sat down with me.
Yeah.
But you and I had talked about story and what happens in this scene and that scene. I just had gone off and written it. And then we sat down and punched it up, but there were scenes that went on for a little longer than we could. And these are things that we know. We were on our film, we were on our Tuesday show, an episode that's going to come out in a couple weeks, talking to somebody about this. I think we had too much in our first act that was character building and not enough story. So we were learning a lot about the characters, but the story was taking place within 5 or 6 page gaps.
Yeah,
things were happening.
Yeah, and also, and on that note, we hadn't really given the audience a reason a hook or a reason to watch or keep watching.
Well,
although there was a
our opening scene does a lot, but I feel like what we didn't really do with our, here we are shitting on our film again, but
We're not shitting.
what we didn't do is we gave him the first few minutes of the film like, oh, that was weird, that was awkward, like it goes with the title, but then it camped out for another 10 pages before the next thing happened. And it's not that nothing's happening, you're seeing it is like a play. But the thing is, we're not watching a play. We're watching a movie, and people who are watching movies are impatient. They only have like a 90-second attention span at
The
best.
YouTube attention span
Yeah.
of cut to this, cut to that, next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here we are just sitting in it.
Yeah.
You know, these people complaining and just living and
And if we could pat ourselves on the back a little bit, I am proud of our characters. I feel like they're very well drawn.
yeah.
Good. They're very well drawn, very distinct characters. Not one character oversteps onto another character's. You know, they all hold their own space as that character, and none of the characters. I think we used this term a lot while we were writing. Is like all of the characters are like tightening the screw of tension to the other character. It's like when you
Yeah.
put. I think we talked about this before. When you're changing a tire, and you adjust the lug nuts, you do them diagonally to tighten the lug nuts on the tire. Mm-hmm. Each one of our characters does that for the other person.
Oh, right, because otherwise it would be off balance.
It would be off balance.
Yeah.
And I'm proud, and the one thing that we have had mentioned to us multiple times is I feel like we have really good, strong female characters.
Yeah.
The female characters in our movie have their shit together, and the male characters really don't.
I think we accomplished the main thing that we set out to do, which was to have good dialogue and good characters and good performances. You know, we didn't get, none of it was perfect, but we got like with the minimum level, which was that, because we watch a lot of indie films, and one of our biggest issues, especially if you go to a film festival, you watch a lot of things that are like the writing.
Yeah.
Even in Hollywood, most Hollywood movies, the writing is so bad, and characters are saying and doing things that real people wouldn't do, and even the characters themselves wouldn't do. And we just wanted, can we just have good characters and good dialogue and some good performances, and if we capture that, even if it's rough, let's at least do that and have a complete film. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the writing and everything. Mm-hmm. It's just rough. A lot of things that we wish, if we could do it now, we would do differently. But here's the thing: we wouldn't know what we know now or be where we are now if we hadn't have gone through that. So it's like your first kid, right? It's kind of, you make all your mistakes on that kid, and then no, just
you do. That's the thing. By the time you're like, if I was the oldest kid, I'm the oldest kid in my family, so there was me, then my sister, then my brother. By the time they got to my brother, they were just like, I'm tired of making people come home at 11 o'clock at night. He can just stay out whenever.
Yeah.
And I remember coming home when I was 17 or 18, and my brother was like 12, and I was like, I walked in at like 11:32, and my dad was like, "You're 2 minutes late." He's standing in the driveway waiting on me. And I walked in and realized my brother wasn't home. I'm like, "Where's my brother?" Christopher. And he's like, "Oh, he's off at a party. He won't be back till about 3 or 4 o'clock tonight." I'm like, "You're letting my 12-year-old brother stay?" Like, he was literally enforcing rules with me and letting my brother run rampant. And it made no sense to me.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna, break the rules or go lax on the rules, it should be for everyone.
But no, that was the deal. The deal that my dad had made with me before I was born. No, we're gonna be strict and rigid with him. But by the time we get to our third one, which was an accident, and a completely unplanned accident, by the way, they just like threw it all out the window. Fuck it. Just let him do whatever he wants. I'm tired of this shit.
We're holding you to a higher standard.
We're holding you to a higher. You're the oldest. It's up to you to be a good example.
Right.
If you were a better example, your brother would come home at 11:30 without being asked.
We're done being parents. You're supposed to be the adult now. So we're holding you to a higher standard. You be the example.
So, So, I mean, but it is like that with your kid. But you do learn tricks along the way. You also learn tricks along the way.
I mean,
Our next film is going to be so much better, but we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We needed to make that film so that our next film could be even better.
it's like
And
proof of concept.
if
too.
you're doing your job as a filmmaker or a creative person or an artist in any way, your next painting, script, book, whatever should be better than your last,
In
no
some-
matter where you start.
Yeah.
And something I think you and I have talked about this a lot, maybe off mic. I can't imagine there's something we haven't said about our film on this podcast. I'm sure people are tired of listening to it. But, so now we're going to make an extra episode this week called the Friday episode where we talk about it some more. But our film looks like the same film in the last scene that it looked like in the first scene. We didn't lose momentum or steam or, oh, somebody showed up with their DV cam today, so that's how we shot this scene. We used the same camera, the same lights. We were consistent from the first scene to the last scene. So and I've had other filmmakers comment on this, is like, your film looks the same all the way through.
Yeah,
Like
that
in terms
took
of its
work.
quality and the standard of quality, the quality control was good all the way, and that took work because there's a couple of scenes where we were in such a hurry, the lights got fucked. There was one scene where we're like, well, the only way we have to shoot this scene is if we do it in one long take from one angle. Otherwise, we'll be here for 2 nights or 3 nights shooting coverage, and we don't have it. So we're gonna shoot it in lockdown shot, camera, people driving in a car at night, and we shot it in such a way that it looked and felt like the same movie.
Not just lights, but sound.
Sound is, and every filmmaker will tell you this. Sound is so important, but it's so hard.
Yeah.
Because your sound person and we had a good sound guy on our thing that just randomly found us on the internet. Do you remember this? He thought you were someone else and he friended you on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
And you were like, no, I'm Brad. He's like, what?
I still love that guy. We gotta let him know next film we do. He's ready and waiting to.
Okay, good.
So next film. And the weird thing is my, I guess, counselor. I was talking to him yesterday, and he's like,
Talking.
"Let me know when your next film is." He wants to stand and watch us do a thing, and I can't do that. I can't have a guy like. I don't even know why I'm talking to him when I'm talking to him. I'm like, can I just skip this part? And then we're gonna have him. No.
That guy is gonna see you on set with me, and he's gonna be taking notes. He's like, now I understand the dynamic problems between. All of Brad's problems stem from his perpetual interactions with Becca Meyer.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, be nice.
If it was like the result was it's all your fault and
Yeah.
not mine,
Yeah.
I would at least feel better, even though I know that's not true.
However, I take no credit. So what we did this time that nailed it is the last time we tried a feature film, which was like 20 years before. We shot like every weekend for 6 months. One
yeah.
scene, 2 scenes. Okay, we'll meet back next weekend and we'll shoot all day Saturday. And we got maybe 3 or 4 scenes at time done.
And we were taking up somebody else's house too.
We were taking up somebody else's house. And so, but it took us forever to finish the thing. And we never really finished it because we ran out of time, money, resources, all
Yeah,
that
our
stuff.
actors had to go do Hollywood stuff. And be in
because
TV
it took
shows.
us so long to do. But this time we're like, small burst. We're gonna do this thing. That's why I was so hard set on like less than 10 days. We ended up shooting it in 9 days, which was also
Yeah,
hard.
momentum's really important. You gotta just, if you can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes you gotta do things in chunks, but you need to try if at all possible to do most of it in like a big
Yeah.
chunk. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's what do you call it? Like a where there's a Friday or a Monday where people are off or something. You have an extended week. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you got to try. I think momentum is so important. You got to try and get it squeeze it in and get it all done in one chunk if you can, in big chunks as opposed to a whole bunch of small chunks. I checked. You looking for audio?
Making sure we're good on sound, yeah.
I done did that.
Okay, good. The other thing is, I feel like what we did on that film is we accomplished things that we'd tried to do before in our short films or in our feature films that we hadn't done well, but we learned them from the other things and did a lot better with this scene. I remember our short films. The last short film I had made that had real like scenes of dialogue, because we made that one short film that was improvisational, and there wasn't a whole lot of like the middleman.
Oh.
There wasn't a whole lot of acting. You know what I mean? We were like documenting what was happening as well. And the other short film that we made that had a lot of dialogue was the very first thing we ever made, the apartment upstairs thing, and that we did that poorly. We did that poorly.
I did.
Emma has got her nose in the bookshelf. What's she doing? She does some weird shit while we're trying to record.
I know. Like I'll go to my room when we're done recording, and there'll be papers ripped up. I'm like, what'd you do that for?
But Totally Awkward was the first time that we'd ever done any extensive shooting of dialogue, like real dialogue, and I feel like we honed in over the course of that production how to shoot it a little bit better.
And to be honest, like Middleman was bad. I'm in it,
Well,
so
yeah,
and I helped make it.
no. It's not. It was our first completed
Right.
short film,
But
and that was like 20 years ago.
I will say that I can, having done that film, I can recognize. I don't want to say bad acting, but like bad improv, or like when someone's trying the similar thing, I'm like, oh yeah, I see that. I immediately know, oh, I can't watch this because they're just making it up and not even doing it well.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's all learning experiences. I don't know if I need to say this, but also I never understood Apartment Upstairs, even though I enjoyed being involved. Like, hey, you want to do a film with us? Yeah, and then you made me a bad guy, and I was supposed to be threatening and stuff, and I didn't even know how to be threatening. I was like, well, how do I be angry? Do I get my teeth? And I didn't even. But I look back now and I'm like, no, that's not how you be angry.
Well, it was our first thing, and I think when I wrote that first script, that was probably that's the first thing I ever wrote. Is that thing, and we're talking about something that was 20-something years ago, back in like the mid '90s.
We need to show the clip. We have a clip somewhere with the, what do you call it? You know, when the lights are flickering, the strobe light.
Yeah.
And I'm going bad.
Well,
Bad.
I think that for that one it doesn't. I can read it and tell you this was about this was about this is about this, but it was intentionally.
It was a bunch
weird,
of crazy people that, like, what are they doing here and how are they functioning? How do they pay? You know?
But it was also like a thing that we don't know if it was real or not.
Right, that was what was weird. I'm like, yeah.
It may, like when you go up to the apartment upstairs, it might be not a bizarre, but like a dimension to a portal to another thing.
It was almost like a fever dream of your perception of the people around you. They're like, you know, how are like I just said, how are these real people?
Yeah.
How are they functioning? Why are they doing that?
Anyway,
we're talking about stuff that nobody has any reference to.
Yeah, no reference to it. But the thing is, the next time we took that and we learned from it. So here's what we talk about on our show all the time. And here's what I think I have decided, okay, we're not talking about how to make a good movie. or a bad movie. We're talking about how to become better a lot of times. And these really are conversations that we would have. This is a conversation we'd have in the car, driving down the road, talking about, oh well, this or that, and I really think that if you take away anything from the stuff that we talk about today or any previous episode, we're not here saying our movie is good, pay attention to our movie because that's how you make a good movie. We're talking about how to become better filmmakers and storytellers through the process. And there are always going to be things that you really like. There's one scene in our film, Totally Really Pathetic and Totally Awkward, that is exactly how I had it in my head. How it was exactly what I thought it would be, and I'm really happy with it.
And there
The
are also
performances are. By the way, our performances are also consistent from beginning to end. It's not like we're not shitting on the performances when we say, I would say that we had professional actors.
There's a lot of good performances.
There's a lot of good stuff in there, and but I also learned
a lot of funny shit.
And a lot of there's some funny shit. I think there's some funny shit. And it switches to that drama like 45 minutes in, and it's like suddenly like an intense family drama that like makes people uncomfortable, and I think it made people uncomfortable.
But also, it's like funny anger.
Yes, oh yeah, we love yelling at people angrily. It's funny.
if anything, there are a lot of good moments. Yeah. Like, maybe as a whole, it's not perfect, but we could take certain scenes and show them to people and be like, that's hilarious. Laugh. But no. But I mean, like, it's actually funny. Out of just taking those moments and showing them to people, they would laugh.
Are you talking about the scene where the brother sniffs the other brother's crotch and says, "You got laid last night"?
I mean, that in and of itself is funny.
Here's my question: how the fuck? Where did that come from? Nobody does that in real life.
You came up with that on the set. That was not in the script.
I don't believe you. No, I didn't. That's not in the script. The dialogue must have been in the script. I think maybe it was his intuition to sniff the crotch.
Going down and sniffing the crotch is something added on
right,
set.
Okay, the act, yeah.
But you did have him, originally it was supposed to be like,
what
like in the air.
Right.
But he went in the crotch. You had sex last night.
And it's really uncomfortable, but what I liked about it was that it was awkward. And it was making the other guy really pathetic. You know what I mean? And the brother, that particular character has no boundaries with people. So it made total sense that he would sniff the guy's crotch.
And speaking of things we love, even though I hate that I wrote it, the phone sex scene in the beginning, not just us, other people have said that is the funniest phone sex scene.
Yeah.
Effort, and I mean, that shit is funny.
Yeah.
I tried to highlight how awkward doing that in real life actually is, and someone who wasn't getting into the role play very well was making it really hard for the person on the phone.
I think it's the one. It's because I wrote like a two-page. This might be a little funny way to start before the credits, and then you went in and turned it to a 5-page opus.
Yeah.
Yeah, an opus.
It just needed
an opus of awkwardness.
This needs more awkward.
I never would have drawn the connection between pumping gas and ejaculation. Okay, you took that and said, okay, so if we're talking about pumping gas, ejaculation is the gas, and that's your dick gas. So
pump me full of your dick gas.
If we haven't convinced you to go watch our movie yet, maybe dick gas will do it. Then she's... Anyway, we're patting ourselves on the back. I don't want to do that. But
hey, we're supposed to talk about what we like.
Right, but not not sitting here self-congratulating each other on our favorite
Anyway,
one-lines.
the point, the reason why we're talking about it, because we're putting it up on YouTube for everyone to see.
Yeah.
You don't have to have an Amazon thing. We're
Yeah.
just gonna release it to the world and let everyone tell us about how
Yeah,
funny it is.
yeah, how fun. So all we're saying is, look, we made our first film. We are happy with it. We're proud of it. We worked hard on it for months and years and all that stuff. The amount of false starts we had just getting the thing made add up to months and months and months, years. And I think more than anything, it's an example of two people that decided not to quit.
Yes.
So
if there's a point to anything we do in the show, it's to never quit,
never surrender.
Never give up, never surrender.
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest.
So what I'm saying is, we know so many people. I know so many people that in the time I have known them, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years they haven't somehow summoned the focus, the discipline, the whatever to sit down and write their thing, put it together, shoot the thing, and finish the thing. I know people
to keep doing it.
Or to keep doing
it. We
know
people have done one or two and then
quit. Yeah. And we know people that have been like, man, they've already made 2 feature films. That's making me jealous. But then they say they aren't going to do another one. You know what I mean? So, look, if you decide that you've said everything you need to say or do everything you're going to do in your first 2 films, you don't have to keep making another one. But I'm picking up on a lot of, it's real hard to stay positive. It's real hard to stay, I'm going to go get the shit kicked out of me one more time. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to do it again because I'm a glutton for punishment. But I know people who, in the time we have, since you moved back from Texas and we started working, we made Opia, Really Pathetic and Totally Awkward.
We're working on
Manifest. We got Safe. We got another film called Chopsticks, and then another film that we have called Happiness Within.
Yeah.
That Brad directed.
I can't wait for all of those. All of those are.
So that's 6 things in the time that we've made those, and I would say the last. When you put them all together like that, it makes it seem like we've been really, really productive.
Yeah.
But I know people that in the time that we've been doing that still haven't written the one screenplay they wanted to write. You know what I mean? It's like. And it's not shitting on them. I'm just saying that it's possible to do it. You just have to sit down and make yourself do it. You have to treat it like it's another job. We all have to get up and go to work every day and do our jobs. My students say to me, what'd you do last night? I said, I worked on my movie. Do you ever go out and do anything? Not often. And well, why? Because when I leave school, I have to go to work. You know what I mean? I call it going to work. I have to go to. That's where I go to work.
We would never get anything done if we didn't go above and beyond.
Yeah. And the thing is, you say that just then, and I think about all the times that we I really think, do we really go above and beyond? You know what I mean?
That's the name of a book we could write. Above and Beyond Filmmaking.
Yeah, add that to the list. Yeah, in 10 years, we'll be sitting here doing our podcast, and we'll be like, our book is out, Above and Beyond Filmmaking. We finally finished it.
We haven't really gone beyond yet.
We haven't even gone above.
But we know how not to do it, so here's a book on... Yeah.
And here's a podcast shitting on the book. What we should have written was...
Yeah,
so
that's
anyway, that's it. I think that's it. Unless there's anything else you want to say.
No.
Go to our website. We are happy to be done with. We're happy to be done with the movie. We're happy for people to be able to see it. It's not really. It wasn't really about making money for us. This particular one. It would have been nice. It would be nice, but it's more about making something that had been camping out in our brains for a long time and getting it done so that we can move on and do the next thing. I refer to these things that it's like cutting. We cut this one out of our brain to make room for something else.
Also, though, it's we found it impossible to ask for people to give us money to make a film if we couldn't show that, look, we could do a feature film. So I feel like every filmmaker needs to
Yeah.
get that first film done so that you can start getting serious about a filmmaking career, because you can show, even if it's bad or whatever,
Yeah.
or not exactly what you wanted, you did it all the way through, and you know, you just you have to do it.
You have to do it.
It's weird because you have to do it in order to do it, right? So
Yeah.
like
You were talking about people's first films the other day, and I'm so glad. Really am glad that Really Pathetic and Totally Awkward was our first film, because
oh yeah,
we-
I'm jealous
you-
of other people's supposed first films, or
you know, we spend so much time wishing we'd gotten another movie made, or gotten a movie made quicker or sooner or whatever, and that all those things are still true. But if we'd made something different first, we would be different filmmakers. We would be completely, who knows? We might have bitten off more than we could chew. Because one thing that we did learn from our previous films was that we were trying to make our movie out to be something that it wasn't going to be able to do because of budget or resources or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we had bitten off more than we could chew, and we couldn't sustain the look, feel, quality, and all that stuff over 80 to 90 minutes for a film. But I think what we did is we undershot for Really Pathetic and Total Awkward, because we didn't push ourselves hardly much at all on pulling things off that would have been a challenge, other than just trying to get the movie made. So we took way stepped back. We're like, this is a dramedy about people that live in this house, and it's someone's birthday. The big scene was a birthday party, and it was 4 a.m, and it was hard to pull off because it was just getting more than the 4 main actors there. You know, we had to get like 20 extras there to make it look like it was a birthday party.
that in itself was a miracle.
That was-
because up until an hour before,
They weren't there. They weren't there.
There weren't. I feel like like an hour before we were supposed to shoot, we had no one. And
Yeah.
our guy Marco DeJorge,
Yeah.
our casting director, was able to
He sent
get his.
he had acting class on Friday night, or whatever night that was. I
Yeah.
think it was a Friday, and said after class he sent everybody out to our film. Everybody out to our set. We were 10 minutes away from his acting school.
We would not have a movie if it wasn't
Do
for
you
that.
remember me not wanting to put you or me in the scene? Because what if we needed to play extras? You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
thinking I don't want to. I
Oh,
personally,
you wouldn't be able to.
I didn't want to be in. I don't want to be in one of the scenes because I might have to be a background extra at some point, and it wouldn't make sense that I was sitting on the couch and then I was in the background somewhere.
Oh, man, that
because
would
I
have
was
been-
worried about not having enough
if
actors.
if we weren't there making sure we got the shot and we were in the scene. Ugh.
But
yeah. Anyway.
But you know, we got our little cameos in, and then I didn't want to be in the scene because then I did have to be in the scene that I didn't want to be in because we needed
Yeah.
someone else there. Like we needed one more person.
I think that's another point. I don't know if we've ever made it a point, but you need miracles to happen, and I
Yeah.
think you need to make the miracles happen by setting the date and deciding that no matter what, even if it isn't perfect film, even if we got to shoot in an alleyway, I don't care. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
And it's weird when you put the energy behind the thought, the intent. It's weird how the universe conspires to
Yeah.
help make it happen.
It's that thing we we're talking about with Stephen Pressfield, The War of Art. Like the universe will send you resistance, but at the same
Yeah.
time, if you push past the resistance, so the universe will start to conspire against you. But at the same time, if you push past that, it starts to look like the universe is falling in line to support you.
Yeah.
It just is the way it is.
You have to will it.
You have to will it.
into being.
Yeah, so that's it. Our movie, Really Pathetic and Totally Awkward, is now up on YouTube. You can find it at our website, smuentertainment.com. If you want to catch us on any of the interwebs, I fucking hate that word. Why did I say that?
The tubes.
Yeah, is I'm Becca Meyer. He's Balding Ewok everywhere. And our Discord server, which we've sort of started.
That's where we want everyone to go.
And we've got people there.
Yeah.
But there's not. We've got a few people there, but it's not quite.
We're building it. We're building.
We're building it up.
Super Mega Ultra Army.
Yeah. So it's Super Mega Ultra, and why can't I ever find the fucking thing?
Because you're signed in as
It's
yourself,
Super
but
Mega
you can
Ultra
still go to it.
hashtag 7516 is what it is.
But we can put the link.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a link that we can put everywhere, and I'll help Mike find it if we need to. It should be on our website, right? We'll put it up on the website.
Yeah, it's not up on the website. It's definitely not up on the website.
Okay.
Yet,
So we'll make that happen. Join us on our Discord. I would say don't bother finding me. Do the Discord thing because I'm not in the other.
I was right. It's hashtag 7516. Super Mega Ultra hashtag 7516. That's us. We got stuff in there about film reverie. We got stuff in there about movies. They want to do some TV shows and some general film talk. So anyway, that's where we're going to be. That's where we like to be.
That's where all of our announcements will be.
Yeah. So that's it for this time. We'll see you next week. That's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.
Cut. Film Reverie Podcast is a production of Super Mega Ultra Entertainment and is produced by Michael Beckemeyer and Bradley Kingston. If you're enjoying this podcast, please be sure to leave us a 5-star review in iTunes and be sure to click like or subscribe wherever you find us. That's it for this time. We'll see you again next week with another episode of Film Reverie.
The end.